After watching hundreds of anime, you start to notice a pattern. Some villains are so dangerous they could flatten the universe because they felt like it. What makes them terrifying is how close they came to winning, but they didn't win. They only lost because of a shocking mistake or a well-timed betrayal. So here are the 10 god-tier anime villains who almost won in the end. We start with the man who was practically a god among ninja, Madara Uchiha. This guy was already legendary with the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan and a perfect Susanoo, but he crossed the line into true divinity when he became the Jinchuriki of the 10 Tails. Regeneration, ninjutsu absorption, and those terrifying truth-seeking orbs. He was unbeatable. His plan? Simple. Cast the infinite Tsukuyomi and put the entire world into a forced dream of perfect peace. And he succeeded. Only a few people escaped that massive genjutsu. He was literally seconds away from absolute permanent victory. About to finish off Naruto and Sasuke when he was stabbed in the back by the one person he thought was loyal. Black Zetsu. What a catastrophic betrayal. Next up is the original homunculus, father from Full Metal Alchemist, Brotherhood. His scheme was terrifyingly simple. Sacrifice the nation of Xerxes to become a living philosopher's stone. That gave him immortality and power over all alchemy, but that wasn't enough. Father's real victory came when he successfully absorbed truth itself, turning him into a god who could manipulate matter and ignore the laws of physics. He was throwing miniature suns and unbreakable barriers out of thin air. He was unbeatable, but his victory was undone by two things: Hohenheim releasing the souls he held, and Father's arrogant decision to absorb Greed. Greed used his power inside Father's body to turn his indestructible skin into the most brittle carbon, allowing Edward Elric to finish the job. A god defeated by a greedy parasite. Next up, Muzan Kibutsuji. As the original, Muzan was arguably the strongest being in Demon Slayer history. We're talking superhuman stats, instantaneous regeneration, and biokinesis that let him mold his body however he pleased. He was essentially an immortal god whose only single fear was the sun. Muzan was terrifyingly close to his goal, on the verge of wiping out the entire Demon Slayer core and absorbing Nezuko to finally conquer sunlight. But that crippling pride and ego got in the way. Instead of being patient and waiting for Nezuko, he went straight for the Hashira and fell right into Kagaya Ubuyashiki's trap. That mistake allowed him to be dosed with Tamayo's drug, which forced his body to age and weaken. A simple lack of patience cost him everything. From Hunter x Hunter, we have Meruem, the Chimera Ant King. He wanted to wipe out most of humanity until he met Komugi and decided to rule a new world where ants and special humans could coexist. Meruem was easily the strongest Nen user in history. He could enhance his power by just eating other Nen masters. He faced Isaac Netero, the strongest man for decades, and literally walked through Netero's most powerful attacks without a serious scratch. But Netero had one final devastating card, a miniature nuke attached to his own heart. Meruem was too powerful to be killed by the explosion, but the excessive radiation slowly poisoned and killed him. He was undefeated by battle, only by an invisible disease. We move to the greatest mind to ever wield divine power, Light Yagami. He started as an ordinary genius, but finding the Death Note gave him a fatal god complex. He literally had the power to kill anyone in the world just by knowing their name and face. His goal, a noble-sounding world free of crime, sent him down the darkest path. He viewed himself as a righteous god, killing non-criminals and even the world's greatest detective, L, to secure his vision. Crime rates did drop, but Light's genius was ultimately swallowed by his massive overconfidence. That ego led him to make critical mistakes in his final showdown with Nier. From JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, we have a villain who actually achieved his goal: Kars, the leader of the Pillar Men. Kars spent millennia perfecting the stone mask to overcome the sun. When he finally succeeded, he became the ultimate being, possessing the DNA of every organism on Earth. He had unmatched regeneration, immortality, and the power to evolve instantly against any condition. But when he was about to execute Joseph Joestar and claim global dominion as a true god, his near victory was ruined, not by a fist or a ripple, but by pure, ridiculous natural chance. That's right, Kars was launched into the frozen void of space by a convenient, unexpected volcanic eruption, an immortal, ultimate god defeated by a geological hazard. Next up, Kid Buu, the purest engine of chaos. The final villain of Dragon Ball Z was a spoiled, demonic child whose sole purpose was spreading destruction across the universe. This being could regenerate from literally anything and destroy planets effortlessly. He even blew up the Earth just to prove a point. He was an unstoppable, intergalactic wrecking ball. Kid Buu was about to continue his universal rampage, but he was defeated by one thing: his own childish, sadistic fun. He paused his attack to play with Vegeta, giving Goku the precious seconds he needed to gather energy for the ultimate spirit bomb. If Buu had been even slightly more rational, that day would have been the final day for the universe. In the world of heroes, one man was truly a god among men, all for one. His quirk allowed him to steal, store, and redistribute the powers of others, making him the most dangerous and powerful villain in My Hero Academia history. He could use over a dozen quirks at once. He spent years setting up the pieces to completely control the world, where quirks were the sole factor in determining worth. He had the complete dominance needed to succeed. His downfall? His single, consuming obsession, the one-for-all quirk. If he wasn't so blinded by that singular goal, he could have sent his entire command structure to crush Izuku Midoriya while he was out in the open. But All for One's desire for that one special quirk allowed the world to fight back. The strongest threat the ninja world has ever faced is the alien parasite Ishiki Otsutsuki. His goal was simple: cultivate Earth's chakra fruit, a process that would wipe out all life and allow him to reach true godhood. Ishiki overwhelmed Naruto and Sasuke, two literal ninja gods, making them look like rookies. With his incredible strength and his Kakugen's power to shrink and restore matter, the world was finished. Ishiki was moments from victory, but then came the ultimate shock. Baryon Mode appeared seemingly out of nowhere. That insane new power depleted Ishiki's lifespan instantly, forcing him into a desperate, immediate karma transfer onto Kawaki. But in his panic, he didn't realize the target was a shadow clone. Ishiki died without a host, defeated only because time suddenly ran out. And finally, Yuwak, the king of the Quincy and the son of the Soul King. His goal was to merge all realms to create a new world where the fear of death no longer existed, even though doing so would cause untold destruction. Yuwak wielded the Almighty, a power that let him see and alter every single possible future, rendering him immune to any attack. Once he absorbed the Soul King, he gained the ability to control reality itself, making him the strongest being in Bleach. He was unstoppable, but his defeat required two separate acts of genius. First, Aizen had to trick him using his Zanpakuto's hypnosis to create an illusion. Second, Uryu had to fire a special arrowhead to temporarily nullify the Almighty. It took the ultimate team-up, the power of an absolute villain, and a tactical miracle to allow Ichigo Kurosaki to land the single, final blow that brought this reality-warping god down.